Welcome back to day 4 of trying to get this transmission swapped out on this 2000 Toyota Corolla. So the progress I've made so far today is I removed this transaxle. This is the wheel end, and this was the part right here that's pressed in. And what I did was I used a crowbar, 30-inch crowbar, and I laid it up against this flat area here, and then I hammered on the other side with just a small regular hammer, and after about 30 or 40 hits it came out. So now what I have is, with the transaxle out on the passenger side, everything's clear right here. This is where the bell housing of the transmission attaches to the engine. You see I have it supported right here, and I'm going to leave that transaxle on because there's really, on the short one, there's no good place to pry or hammer without tearing it up. So I've already removed the front engine mount here, and I'm taking this bracket off because I don't want that will be blocking when it lowers. And then I'm going to take the rear mount off. There's 3 bolts that attach to the transmission, and then loosen the bolts that hold the bell housing to the engine, and then take off the engine mount. It's right there, and then I should be able to lower it down without having to lift the engine up, which would be a whole lot more trouble, and then replace it with the one I bought. That's where we are right now. Alright, so I've got that front bracket off now, front motor mount bracket, and I'm loosened this one right here, this is the bell housing to engine, and there's another one under here where I have a socket already on, but this bracket right here was in the way. So I just removed this bracket. It faces this way, and I'll put this bolt back in so it doesn't get lost. Okay, I've loosened these 2 upper bolts on the bell housing. There's one up under there, one over here, and I've kind of pushed all of the wiring harness and stuff back to the on top of the engine. And then there's this thing here that says diagnosis that clips right there. I'm just taking that and moving it to the side as well. All right, some brake boost right here. It's just okay. Probably can clip that back on with no problem. And I have this engine mount here, and I have that engine mount back down there. It's down below. If I can get to it, it won't focus. There it goes. So there's the lower engine mount. We'll probably have to get that from underneath. So I'm going to remove this upper mounting right now. This on the driver's side. Well, while I was down below trying to see about getting to the 3 bolts on that rear engine mount that attach to the transmission. I had to remove this guard here. It's a heat shield for the CV, for the boot on the CV. So I had a couple of bolts there, and then one went into the bracket, I believe, which is part of the rear engine mount. So I took that off, and then that gave me pretty easy access from down below to 2 more bell housing bolts back there. So far I've loosened one from the over here. One of them that holds the alternator in is a bell housing bolt. I've loosened 2 on top, and then 2 down on that side. So I need to go under. I don't see any more on the top side here. I'll need to get a light in there to see if there's one more I'm missing. But I don't think so, because I did 2 there, and one's close to that top. And then the 3 bolts, I think I'm just going to have to try to attack them from the top right here, because there's that cross member below is blocking any access to them. So, but I don't know if they'll even come out with that rear engine mount in the way. Although I did see a short video of removing this, or loosening this lower cross member here, enough to remove the engine mount. So we'll have to see how that goes. But we're getting closer. This is no problem getting this engine mount out over here. It's just that one. If we can get it out, if we can get those bolts out, then the transmission will just lower on the driver's side of the cross member that goes this way down below. Well, that's going to wrap it up for day 4. The transmission is virtually ready to lower, except for that rear engine mount. So I've got to do a little research on that, see if I can lower that cross member enough to release it, for the 3 bolts from the transmission. After that, it's ready to come down, and then we'll have the joy of putting the other one in. But since we've learned how to do it in the process, it shouldn't take as long to put back together. So thanks for sticking with it. Day 4, had a heck of a time with that passenger side, the long CV, the long transaxle. But once I found out where to hit it and had the right tool, came out okay. See you tomorrow.